Hey, what's going on, everyone? Out here in Los Angeles, California, where we're sitting down with some of the most recognizable faces in entertainment and the digital space. And this man right here, he's taken a lot of photos for those people and is slowly becoming one of those faces as well. He's celebrity photographer Zusha Goldin. Zusha, thanks for taking a few minutes and great to finally meet you in person.
Likewise. So we've been connected for some time.
Yeah.
And we've been corresponding back and forth. And so it's so great to finally, meet up and connect in person.
That's what I love about social media sometimes. You can talk to people you never met in person and then eventually you can do something in real life.
Exactly, yeah. The amount of people I've met from social media, it's an incredible place to be if you use it properly.
I mean, you're right now the kind of a king of networking. And like I said, like you reached out to me a year ago. We kind of just started that relationship from there. I'm curious though, how you approach connecting with people through social media platforms, because you obviously do it pretty often.
I'd say one of the biggest mistakes I think people make is trying to pitch themselves without building any relationship prior. So imagine you're walking down the street and someone comes up to you and pitches you their service. You'd probably be like, I'm not interested. I'd rather go with someone that I know. Whereas if someone first takes the time to get to know you and actually connect and build a relationship, then you can pitch yourself.
You're pretty active on all those platforms, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram. How much time do you think you're spending each day just getting content out there and trying to make these connections happen?
A lot of time. I'll give you an example. On LinkedIn, I got like 25,000 followers or something. Joined LinkedIn like last year. And people were like, wait, how did you do that? How did that happen? And I said, really just showing up every day. The key to social media, I would say, is really consistency. Also, providing value or entertainment. It's actually something that Gary Vee says a lot. You want to provide value and education to your audience or entertainment, and engaging with other people, responding to comments on your posts, reaching out to other people and commenting on their posts. Basically, you want to really just try to build a community. That's what you want to do on social media. That's the most important thing, and that's how you can reap the most benefits.
How are you providing that value through these different type of platforms that are different in their style and their format and what content works for each platform? You're obviously, like I said, active on all of them. So how does it differentiate for you when you're trying to provide value on LinkedIn versus provide value through TikTok, in that form?
Okay, so that's a great question. It's wholly different, each platform's style. I would say that TikTok is way more fun and just entertaining content, although you can also provide value. So for example, I would follow trends and try to incorporate like some photography or photographer related things into the trends, or just do a dance.
Yeah.
If all fails, guys, just do a TikTok dance.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Because I know for my type of work, doing these interviews, it's like TikTok's good where I can post clips from the actual interview, from the camera itself. Yeah. I can show behind the scenes stuff from the interview, and I can do a TikTok dance with my guests, and it still all kind of fits in the umbrella of things.
That's for TikTok.
Yeah.
And then regarding Instagram, I'm saying as a photographer, I mean, you have to have like high quality, good photos. And that's even if you're not a photographer. If you're producing content on social media, your photos should be high quality, like good lighting, clear. It really takes your post to the next level. I think it's very important.
Then what do you think about people I see recently? They say, I want to make Instagram casual again. So how do you feel when you see that?
Being that's okay. And if you want to post selfies, but make sure you have good lighting when you're posting a selfie.
Being active on all these different platforms, what's the posting goal you set for yourself that you tell yourself, I want to get out on each of these platforms each day, whether it happens or not? What do you tell yourself that you need to do?
So my brother in New Jersey, he is like being on top of my case, trying to really get me to be successful. One of the things he did, which I probably should have started doing a while ago, is I bought like this big whiteboard, dry erase marker, and I'm writing down like my daily tasks, my goals, how I'm gonna get there, my this, and different, just writing down like my future, basically, my planned future. One of the biggest things that I think to give you credibility, especially in this like entertainment industry, is having, a lot of followers. Let's be real, shallow or not, you need it.
Yeah, unfortunately, you need that leverage sometimes.
You need it, people take you more seriously. You have people who have maybe, they can have 50,000 followers, but they're not engaged. And then you can have people who have 10,000 followers who are very engaged. And those engaged followers will win out every single time. So you really want to just build a community who can support you and you support them. And
that's going to be on the ride with you this whole time. And I like what you were saying earlier with the whiteboard too. You have this vision for yourself, and sometimes you kind of just need to see that vision and see what you're going after, and that helps kind of you chase after it a little bit better.
Legitimately. Yeah. I legit have like, I want to shoot this person. I want to shoot the cover of Vogue. And a lot of times it's kind of like daunting and a bit scary to navigate your way trying to get there. The reason for that is basically because I'm sure you heard about like the term the LA faker and all that. Yeah. I'm weary of being like that. I don't want to be like that. So I don't want to use anybody. So far, I don't think I have. There's actually one story that I can relay over to you. Around like 2-3 years ago, I was in LA. I did a shoot with one actor. This was a pro bono, totally free shoot. I was building my portfolio back then. We did a shoot and it went really nice. We actually spent like a few hours, like went around like LA. It was a great experience. I was trying to like network and make more friends and whatnot. So I was like, do you want to go like hang out next week, go to an event or do something? And he's like, yeah, for sure. Let's do it. Like I got home, I uploaded the photos to my computer. I sent it to him. Within a few days, he unfollowed me on Instagram. And then when I texted him like, do you still want to go to that event? No response. And I messaged like a few times and there was no response. I mean, he's a little well known. He could have just said, you know what, I'm not really interested in going next week. That was my first ever experience. LA faker.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely know what you mean. I've been in LA enough times where to experience the highs and lows of being out here sometimes. I'm curious for you because what you just talked about was when you came here as a visit, but you're living in LA full time now. And you've said for a while though, LA's your dream place to live. Yes. So how has living in LA been versus what you imagine, especially you going after your dream and dealing with a lot of these people in the entertainment industry, which is a breed of its own sometimes.
Yeah, it is. So I'm from New York City and born and raised there. I have like 10 siblings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a lot, right? My brother got married 10 years ago. I was 11 years old. He married a girl from California and he moved out here. And when he had his first child, I came out here to visit. The second I stepped out of LAX airport, I smelled the air. It was probably really full of fumes. But I smelled the air. I saw the palm trees and I said, I'm moving here. Okay. I'm moving here. I would fly back and forth ever since then. Since then, I flew back and forth many times. I would tell my classmates, I'm moving to LA. I'm moving to California. I'm moving to California. And they would all like scoff and laugh at me, be like, you say that every time. No, you're not. You're not. It's not. Well, guys, if you're watching this, I'm here.
Oh, he's here. All right. And doing interviews and all that stuff, collaborating with the biggest people.
Exactly. I don't come from the most money background, so it was kind of more like of a dream than an actuality. But I mostly have people who support me, and especially family. For example, I moved into my brother's house in Irvine. I was in quarantine with him, my sister-in-law, and their 4 kids for 6 months until I moved to LA in August. Because my plan was to be there for a few weeks to like figure out how I'm gonna move here. Shout out to you guys, thanks for that. It's amazing that I had this support. That's the only way I was able to do this, because I have family who's able to support me like that.
Has it felt worth it though, living out here?
I go to the grocery store, I bumped into Jake Gyllenhaal. I walked down Santa Monica Boulevard, I bumped into Justin Bieber. I literally leave my house, I bumped into Tyra Banks.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
So, and that doesn't happen in New York. And here, it's more opportunity for networking, collaboration, and being able to network. So I think that's a perk of living in LA. I'm still only here for living here for a few months, so I'm still navigating, but hopefully it's gonna pick up a lot more. I'm excited for what's to come.
Definitely. Like we were talking about, I mean, you're a young dude. You're 21 years old. I know, being out here too, it can be exciting at times. Like you said, all those different opportunities, meeting a lot of cool people and stuff.
Yeah.
But I know things could probably still get overwhelming. Being out here is just the LA lifestyle. Sometimes a lot of highs, but a lot of energy being exuberated. So you talked about how important your family has been. Who do you go to for guidance when things get overwhelming at times, and living across the coast now at this point?
I pretty much call like most of my siblings like every day, and you need to have that support if you want to be able to go on. Otherwise it's tough, which is why when so many like people move to LA with families, like I'm saying, like a lot of TikTokers especially, I'm like, it's the smartest thing you can do.
Yeah.
And for the parents, it's a big move, but to do that as a family, that would be amazing.
I think you just described one of our mutual connections, someone you shot for with the D'Amelio family.
Yeah.
I know when I filmed with them, that was a big moment, at least for my career. That's helped me a lot. The posts and photos you did for them, I feel like I see those photos everywhere too. And I'm sure it was a big moment for you. I guess, how did you initially get connected in that family to shoot for them? Because it's hard to argue they are not the most popular people in 2020.
I downloaded TikTok last summer and I downloaded it for a day or two. And I didn't know how to work it. It's like probably for like kids, right?
Yeah.
But then I heard Gary Vee talking about it and how the organic reach on there is crazy. Like, it's a great place to be. So I re-downloaded it, right? Suddenly, I found myself addicted to it.
Yeah.
And suddenly I see this girl keeping on popping up on my For You page. And I was like, who is this girl? Like, she keeps on coming up, you know? All of a sudden, I saw there were 2 of them in one video.
Yeah.
I followed them, and then the parents came on board. They seem really genuine people. People crave authenticity, especially in this era. So,
well, that's the thing when you see like a Charlie and Dixie, like they could be your friend.
Exactly.
It's weird to think of Charlie as the most famous person in the world. She looks like she could be your everyday friend in high school type of deal.
And
so
I think that's part of like the appeal that people saw. People were able to relate to that, and they liked that. And then I was like, wait, I want to meet them. I want to shoot them. It's not enough to just follow them.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. I want to shoot them. So I reached out to them, well, through Barbara.
Yeah.
You know Barbara.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went through both of them. Basically. Okay. Yeah.
Did Heidi like refer you to Barbara, or did you have to find out?
Yeah. We were like going back, like they're from Connecticut, and they lived and I lived in New York City, and they were coming to New York for like promos all the time and whatnot.
Yeah.
Every time I was available, they were busy. Every time they were busy, I was available.
Oh, wow.
So we just, for like weeks, we were trying to like make a shoot happen for weeks. And then at the end of February, I was like, you know what? I'm moving to LA. I always wanted this. I'm gonna make it work somehow. I didn't have any like savings or money or anything to like be able to make it happen, but I did it. So then I saw that they were in LA. They came on like the 10th or something. So I reached out and I was like, you guys are in town. I moved here. You have some availability? They're like, yeah. And so then March 15th, we met up in their house. And then we actually went on, not far from here, on Sunset. It was an amazing experience. Such good people. I mean, you know them.
Yeah.
They're genuine. They're really, really nice people. I'm very happy that someone with that big of a platform are good people.
Shooting for them, how much of an impact has that been for your business, your social media growth?
Well, put it this way. Charlie tagged me in one post. Dixie tagged me in one post. I got like 5,000 followers.
That day, right?
Yeah, that day. It definitely gave me a lot more credibility. Like, my work is the same.
Of course,
but because I have them on my portfolio, it gives me a lot more credibility.
Sometimes you just need that push, though. Like you said, the work's been the same the whole time, but sometimes you just need that one repost to give you that little bit of boost and give you the credibility, which like we were talking about in the beginning, you need a little leverage sometimes being in this industry, being in this area.
Then I actually shot with them another time, but I didn't release any of those photos. It was for one of their campaigns, which it didn't really end up using, which is totally cool. Yeah. But it was a great experience, and I really liked them.
You got in early too. I know they still had a lot of followers at the time, but compared to where they are now, it's pretty impressive that you can always say you shot for them early, and they obviously have gotten even busier since then. So obviously you had that relationship with them, but it might be harder now at this point.
Right now they're super busy. They're like, I'm so happy to see it. The people that they're working with, the brand deals they're getting. I mean, they're like popping off. I'm so happy for them. I'm excited for their journey, and I'm excited for mine and yours. I appreciate it. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, check out his other stuff, because I've seen a lot of his interviews, and he does a really good job.
Here's getting into more of your story a little bit, because you're running your own business out here in Los Angeles, 21 years old. As a creative, the fun part is doing the actual shoot, but now you're handling the administrative stuff, and I'm sure you've been doing it for a while, but really, we're trying to make a living out here now. So you're making these bookings happen, handling the coordinating of it. What have you learned about what it takes to actually create and run your own business, doing freelance work as your full-time job?
That's a great question. I have to ponder that for a second. I would say having that familial support helps a lot, because any questions I have, I can really ask them. I'm learning as I go. I kind of self-taught myself English, taught myself photography. I've always had an eye. I kind of always knew composition. Ever since I was young, I remember being able to line up like the rule of thirds and like the leading lines, when I didn't even know what those concepts were. I didn't know that they existed. I just went on YouTube and I typed in how to retouch a portrait professionally in Photoshop. And I watched a few videos, and I kind of put my own style together from like watching other people edit, and that's how I learned Photoshop. And I would say for any photographer, one of the biggest things that you can do, shoot every day. You'll start picking up and noticing different things the more experience you have. And also, if you can get a mentor, that would be great. In any industry, I think assisting or being mentored is the way to go.
Going into these different challenges, you're learning photography on your own, and right now I guess just creating business and learning how to run a business, that's just your next challenge right now, that you're trial and error, how that works to create a successful business, and obviously reaching out to people and getting their advice. How have you had to adjust your business, your work, because of the pandemic? And like you said, you moved to California right before the pandemic.
Okay, so I will say that I had some other big shoots lined up. They were literally scheduled for like a day in advance. And then lockdown happened. They messaged me, let's wait till after quarantine. To be fair, I was also freaking out about like COVID, and I was actually going to cancel it myself. I was like, okay, this is a really big opportunity, but what about the virus? But it's a huge opportunity, but the virus. Being a germaphobe, I was like, I was really walking on a tightrope.
Right.
And then they canceled it, and it kind of made the decision for me.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to get back those opportunities, and it's really hard. They're a lot bigger right now. They're very, very big.
Yeah.
So
they're trying to get back in.
So I'm trying to shoot with them, but they're busy. They have magazine cover shoots. I notice a lot of times now, a lot of people, saying like regarding TikTokers, they don't really necessarily want to do so many shoots, because where it used to be fun, it's now work. Now they're like, if I have to do it, I'll do it. And maybe if like I want to have a fun shoot with like some friends or family, maybe I'll do it. But they're not as inclined to do it as like previously.
I know from my work, coming out to LA this week and do these interviews, this is my first in-person interview stuff in 8 or 9 months, which is the longest I've ever gone without, I guess, doing stuff in person with people. Obviously, Zoom's been the way to go. I just can imagine for you, photography, you had to do it in person, and how much that could affect your work and your business over an 8 or 9 month span.
Oh, 100%. To be honest, in quarantine, I was literally like losing my mind. I was going crazy. I wasn't in a good place in quarantine. I really wasn't. Being able to live in my brother's home, I really was able to really connect with my niece and nephews. Like I really got to know them because I was there for like 6-7 months. So that was a really nice thing about quarantine.
So we were talking about networking earlier, and I saw a post of yours recently how you want to shoot for Gary Vaynerchuk. That's one of your dream people to shoot for. What is the approach, the strategy right now to kind of make that happen?
So the first thing I did was make a post on LinkedIn, and if anyone of my connections has a connection to him, if they can make that happen. They didn't, but they did recommend, they commented people who I should get connected with to make that happen. So I connected with them, but they received dozens of like requests to get connected with Gary every day. Unless you come with something really, really next level to the table, they're probably not going to be interested. And then someone else said I should go on Twitter and engage with Gary on there. So I started doing that, but I don't spend much time on Twitter. I really just think that I'll bump into him. I have a lot of good luck bumping into people. Doesn't mean that I'm going to stop trying to like network and make it happen.
I mean, there's no like time limit, like I need to shoot with him by this day. It's
exactly.
No, it'll happen one day.
Gary, I need to shoot you today. Pull up. We're at the Hilton.
6-hour flight from New York to LA. Come on over, bro. We'll go to Saddle.
We'll go to Saddle Rash.
Keep manifesting it, bro. I really appreciate the time. Zusha Goldin, everyone, celebrity photographer. Thanks for the time.
Thank you, Tyler.